Hello, fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Tokusatsu Defender version 3 from Blokees. So I've never really known 100% what to call this line, but it is a combination of Rider, Ultraman, and Sentai, all in the Defender size class from Blokees, which I love. If you guys have been watching my videos at all, you know I absolutely love this size class. And it's listed as Defender version 3. But it's definitely done in a different style than the first two. And the difference here, as you can see, it's actually kind of like an advent calendar. So previously, you'd get a case with, individual boxes, and they would sell the individual boxes. This is actually completely sold as a set, as far as I can tell. You can see, the different characters that are available here, and also down here on the front. But there are some chances for some like crazy super rares. So if I zoom in here a little bit, you can see there's like a gold version of Ultraman. Daybreak is there. Also 2 Kaiser. And then I'm not 100% sure what version of Ultraman that is. It might be Saga. And then apparently there is a 1 in 288 chance to get this Galaxy version size of Zets. Not Zets. Zet. Ultraman Zet. Now, see, now that there's a Zet and a Zets, it does this to me every time. So, very interesting. Like I said, I've never seen one like this before. I think it's interesting that this just isn't its own thing. It's labeled as the third wave of this Tokusatsu Defender version line, because we've definitely seen the first two already, and the first two were just sold as boxes in a case, and this one's done in an advent calendar style. So it's weird to me that it's labeled as 3 instead of its own thing, but I guess because it is kind of building on what we got before in the first two. So I figured we'll just go ahead, we'll open it up, and we'll see what we get. All right, so I went ahead and folded the flap back. I still think it's kind of funny that, this is an advent calendar style, but it still has the flap on the back here, like there would be cases in here for people to take away at a store. Strange packaging. I really have no idea what we're going to get. I thought at first that it was going to correspond to the pictures, but then I noticed we definitely have a couple of duplicates. You can see Zen Kaiser a few times. You can see Gotchard a few times. So I don't think the picture necessarily means anything, but I'll probably save this one in the middle until last. So we'll just start over here down in the corner, and we'll see what we get in this first tab. So it looks like there is a non-translucent bag here, so I guess I should angle down, and we'll open this up and see what we get. Does it have any kind of pull tab or anything? No. All right, drum roll please. Let's see. It is okay, looks like Spanner. And I think, have we seen Spanner before? I feel like I recognize a translucent Spanner. So I wonder if this is one that we've seen before. I don't know if there are any duplicates in here. I want to say no, but I'd have to go back and look. All right, probably what I'll do is I'll probably just go through and open all these, because you don't need to watch me build it. And then we'll see what we get for all of them, and then we'll take a look at all of them built at the very end. All right, that was our first one. Let's go ahead and open the second one here. So next up, it looks like we have... Okay, this is a dark version of Ultraman, I'm assuming. Not 100% sure exactly who that is. It looks maybe like a Dark Zero or something, or maybe a Dark Zets. I keep saying Zets. Ultraman Zet. Zets, the names are so similar. All right, next up, we'll open this one. Oops, oh well. All right, so far we've had an Ultraman, and we've had a Kamen Rider. Let's see if we get a Sentai here. Also, they do not correspond to what's on the outside of the packaging, because that was just an Ultraman and a Sentai one. I really don't want this to go all over the place. All right, new strategy. We're going to cut the bag open. All right, and it looks like we have, this looks like a translucent version of Decayed, which I believe is one of the ones that we're supposed to get down here. Yeah, so nothing new or rare there. All right, next up we'll do the one over here in the back. We'll see what we get. This one feels kind of bulky, so I'm going to guess that this is maybe the motorcycle for Gotchard, if I had to guess. Oh no, this is Zero, and that bulky part was his cape, which is pretty cool. I think that looks really neat, so definitely excited to check that out. Next up, let's see, this feels like maybe part of a large helmet. So this one is, okay, another Ultraman. I think that is Trigger, I think, judging by his sword. That's my guess there. I believe he is, yeah, he's over here. I believe that's Trigger. All right, we'll grab this one in the front here. This one is, all right, this is Zet. Looking very cool. So we're getting all the Ultraman ones out of the way here. We'll come back up here and see what's in this one. All right, where is the, here we go. All right, this is a green version of this little ship. This is another Ultraman one. I feel like we've seen this ship before, but this is an all green version. You can see it down here, so nothing new or exciting there, not one of the rare ones. We'll move over to this one. All right, next up we have, all right, here we go. We have, and I cannot remember this guy's name, but it is the, is it just Aka Red? No, that's not it. I'm not sure. Aka Kaiser? Maybe? Feel free to let me know in the comments below. But this guy, I think he was from either a special or a movie or something. But I think that's the first Sentai one we've gotten this whole time, so that's pretty cool. Let's hop over to this one here. Okay, here we go. Here is Zen Kaiser. Very cool. So now we're getting all the Sentai ones. I wonder if they're like by quadrant. I didn't really test that theory. Although all the Ultraman ones were kind of in the back corner back there. Let's see what this one is. Okay, there is Gotchard. Move down here. And I don't know, maybe these are all guaranteed and only the one in the middle has the odds of having the other rare ones. I don't know that. It might explain it on the box and I just can't read it. I think this is the motorcycle for Gotchard. Yes. This is Gotchard's motorcycle. All right, so at this point we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left to open here. It seems like I just noticed that it's very Ultraman heavy. If you look at the top of the box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So half of it is Ultraman. And then the other half is split into Rider and Sentai, which is kind of weird. Usually they're pretty evenly distributed. But all right, there we go. Got at first I thought it was Build and I was a little bit more excited. This is just Heat Trigger Double, but still fun. Still fun. So we have 4 more to go, and then the big exciting one in the middle. So this is, okay, I think that's Glitter Trigger, or Glitter Trigger Eternity, or something like that. It's been a minute since I've seen Trigger, I gotta be honest. Okay. Next up, oh, this is the mecha from Ultraman. I'm not sure what this guy's name is, but he's a little mecha, and we have seen that one before, just in a different, I think he was, the other one was all tan. This one's got a little bit of green. So there are definitely some duplicates here. Definitely some new stuff, but definitely some duplicates as well. Or kind of repaints of ones, I should say. All right, this one feels kind of big. This one is, oh, okay. The Sentai Mecha. So at this point, I think we've seen all the Sentai ones. I think we've seen all of the Ultraman ones. So I think, actually, I think we've seen all of the Rider ones too. At least what's on the front of this box. We've seen Valvarad, we've seen Gotchard, we've seen the motorcycle, we've seen Double, we've seen the Translucent Decade. I don't know what's going to be in this one. It is, oh, okay. This is the other, the Guts vehicle. All right. Definitely very Ultraman heavy, but still a really fun assortment. So that is open all of the smaller boxes. So now, for the moment of truth, we have to go ahead and open this one in the center, which I can't... Oh, maybe there isn't one in the center. Maybe I lied to myself this whole time. Is there anything in there? I'm going to have to cut it. I'm not going to keep this box anyway. That's really funny. I thought there was one in the center, and I think I may have tricked myself this entire time, which is kind of hilarious. No, there is. Okay. I wasn't crazy. It's just not really perforated. That's it. I mean, they got to be careful, because if you didn't think to look under there, you could accidentally throw something out. I'm going to have to, like, completely open this and make sure there's nothing else hidden in here. But let's go ahead. Let's open this one up. Let's see what our special super secret. Does it have a card? I'll try to see if, is there a card in here? There is. It is, oh cool. It's like the, I think that's Saga with all the crazy color schemes. Let's see. Okay, so I think he's kind of the default. I think he's the one that's like guaranteed at least to be in there. And then there's a 1 in 144 chance of the Gold Ultraman, Kamen Rider Daybreak, or 2 Kaiser. I would have really liked the 2 Kaiser, because I think they gave us like a translucent 2 Kaiser at one point, but this is a really nice painted 2 Kaiser with, you know, the black and the red and everything looking really sharp. I really didn't have any interest in this guy, so I'm glad I didn't. I mean, he was really hard to get, but I'm totally fine not getting him. 2 Kaiser would have been my first choice. Daybreak, probably my second. But yeah, you can see this whole top row is all Ultraman stuff, and then you get a little bit of Rider and even less Sentai. So very weird distribution, but I still think they're going to be cool. I'm going to go ahead, get all these built and put together, and then we'll take a closer look. All right, so here's everything fully assembled. Did take a decent amount of time, probably around an hour and a half, just like while casually watching TV to snap everything together. But the great thing about Blokees, there's no stickers, there's no paint, there's nothing like that you have to worry about. All the detail is either tampoed stickers or different colored plastic, and just snapping everything together was pretty simple. And 17 in the assortment. That's a really great sized assortment here. So we have Gotchard looking pretty cool. You can see with the Defender class, the heads are a little bit bigger. I wouldn't say they're like full-on super deformed size, but you know, decently large compared to the rest of the body, but really nice detail. He comes with the gun accessory, which looks great. Heads on a ball joint, so you have some nice front to back and side to side movement. You can spin side to side. Ball joint in the shoulder there, so you get a nice range of motion. Got elbows are also on a ball joint, so you can move that around, spin around, no problem. Wrists are also a tiny little ball joint. You have a ball joint here in the waist, kind of like the waist slash diaphragm area is a ball joint. And then you have a ball joint for the hips, so you can kick pretty decently out to the side, forward and back. And then you have 90-degree bend at the knee there, and then a ball joint for the ankle. So really nice range of motion for these tiny little figures. And I would say these guys are probably about 2 inches tall. And it's just a really fun little size class that's really easy to collect. And yeah, Gotchard came out great. Now I do have peg holes on the back, as we'll see with some of the others. You can see, so if you have display stands or things like that you want to use, his scarf is covering his up, but you could swivel it around if you need to. Even the little driver, I think, has some nice detail on it, which they did a nice job. And that's actually on a tiny little ball joint as well, so you can move that around a little bit. But he also comes with his bike, so you can see he even has a little pincer claws there. They don't actually move. Yeah, I keep trying to get them to move, but they don't really. But again, some nice tampoed sticker detailing there. Wheels do spin, and we can just pop him on the bike. Fits on pretty easily, and then we can snap his hand there on the handlebar. Looking pretty good. I think he actually fits on the bike pretty well, pretty simply. Yeah, overall, I like him. I think he looks cool there. Continuing on with the other riders, we have this translucent pink Decade. I would say, with the exception of Gotchard and his bike, all of the riders are translucent. I don't know why they decided to go that way, but they did. So you have this fully pink translucent Decade. The details there, it's got the ride booker and everything in sword mode. You have a little bit of white paint there on the chest, and then you have the driver, the Deca driver there is done in white plastic, but otherwise, everything else is translucent pink. I think we've gotten a fully painted normal version of Decade in a previous wave, so this is just, I think, this advent calendar really feels to me, I mean, there are a few exceptions. There's definitely some new stuff in here, but I feel like they padded it out with some translucent repaint variants of ones that have come before, which is fine. I mean, these little figures every once in a while to get like a little fun translucent variant's not bad. And then we also have Build Heat Trigger. This one looks pretty cool. And like I said, I thought it was Build at first, but it's double. Because it looks like Rabbit Tank, but it is double Heat Luna. No, Heat Trigger. I keep saying Luna, but Luna's the yellow side. Heat Trigger. Doesn't come with the gun, unfortunately. Would have been nice if he came with the gun. But it does look like it has a spot to attach the rod, even though the rod is not included. So, Heat Trigger double, looking pretty good. And these guys all have the same articulation, so I'm not going to go over the articulation every time. It's exactly the same on every figure. Here we have Valvarad. He's like a weird amalgamation of translucent and regular. Like the crotch area here, I think it's just black plastic, but it almost has like kind of a translucent quality to it. And then this piece on the helmet is fully painted, which I think looks really sharp. I like the look of that quite a bit. He's also got this little skirt piece back here, and I like his weapon. I think that looks good as well. So yeah, Valvarad looks pretty cool. That's going to do it for the riders. But now we'll jump over here into the Ultraman, which is quite largely at least half of this section. But I love this Zero with the mantle. I think this looks so good. I really like the look of this. If for some reason you want to take this off, I think you probably could. It's easier if you pop the head off and then just lift this off. But I think you possibly could get it off just around the head, but it's just easier to pop the head off, and then you can just have a little Zero figure, which again, some really nice tampo detail there. All the articulation's the same. The head sculpt looks great, but I really, really like the mantle that they included. I think that's really cool. So I'm going to pop that back on. There we go. But yeah, I love the look of that. That looks great. So we'll put him back over here. Then we have, I believe this is Trigger Glitter Trigger Glitter Eternity, I think. It's Trigger's form based off Glitter Tiga. But I think it's Glitter Trigger Eternity or Trigger Glitter Eternity. Something like that. I apologize. But either way, cool form. This one I feel like kind of makes sense to do in the translucent plastic because that's kind of the nature of the form. And it has like a little bit of glitter in the plastic as well. So I think it really turned out great. Detail there, a little bit of paint on the chest looks good. Have his weapon there, clips into his hand. And you can spin this around. Just like he does on the show and the DX toy does. So if you want to spin that around, it's a little snug, but you certainly can spin it around, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that one came out great. And then I think this is, hold on, let me get him to stand again. I think this is Saga. I could be wrong, and feel free to let me know in the comments. I love the coloring on this, like the color gradient. You have kind of a purple leg, then he has kind of a darker blue leg. You can kind of watch like the teal kind of phase into the green. And you can even see like, it's almost kind of an optical illusion the way the green on the head almost looks like it's just reflected from the light, because kind of when you turn it, it starts to turn gold. Just a really, really cool paint scheme on this guy. You also have this weapon, which can kind of flip around, which is kind of cool, and then it can also kind of store there. But yeah, this is a really cool figure. I think they did a really nice job with this. And like I said, all the articulation is the same as the other figures, but yeah, he's really cool. I like that one quite a bit. Next up, we have Trigger. So he's got his sword here. Detailing looks great. All of the tampo design and paint applications really, really look sharp. Head looks good. All the same articulation as the rest of the figures, but yeah, he really turned out great. Only the weapon there is translucent. And then I have to be honest, I think this is from Trigger, but I cannot remember his name. But this is like the evil Ultraman variant. I think this is, if I'm remembering correctly, I remember him only being in like a few episodes, but he's definitely a bad guy. But it's a really cool design, really nice detail. And it's nice to get a couple of villains in this line because it's not something you see very often. And then we have Ultraman Zet. Really looks good. It's got his weapon as well. Really nice detail. Awesome to have Zet. Definitely one of my favorite Ultramen from recent years. So excellent to have him in the assortment. And then we have a couple of mecha and vehicles that I have to be honest, I am not super familiar with. This guy I believe we've seen before. I think he was kind of like an all tan variant. This guy's got a little bit of green to him. But he's got some movement here in the arm, kind of a ball joint there. Technically, you could spin this around if you wanted. Otherwise, you have, I think, a waist swivel, little ball joint here at the hip, and then you have a knee bend. So he's got a decent little bit of articulation. He's just kind of a cool little mecha. So I don't know which Ultraman show he is from, but he's kind of neat. And then we have these little ships just done in translucent green. This is one solid piece. It's on this little stand here, so it has a little ball joint. You can move it around. And then I remember seeing this one before. It was a red and white. I do not know what it's from, but now it's purely in translucent green. And again, you can pop it off the stand if you want and just fly it around. Just a couple of pieces that clip together. But yeah, I really, if you know what Ultraman series this jet is from, please let me know. Now this one, I believe, is from Trigger, and it is based on one of the Guts vehicles from Tiga. So I think this is the Trigger version, but it's definitely inspired from a vehicle from Tiga. But the cool thing about this guy in the show, it is a jet, and then he could transform into like a little robot mode. And what you can do, you flip these sections forward, you fold this down, and then you spin it. You can see it's kind of cut at an angle there. So that can spin around, and then you flip the head down, and you can form the little robot mode with this as well. And I think that is really, really cool. So he would kind of slide around in the city and, you know, fire at the monsters and assist Trigger. So that's really cool. I think it's amazing that they made it so that this little guy can transform. It's just a really nice attention to detail, you know, very simple transformation. And they nailed it. They were able to pull it off. And I think that's awesome. And then you just fold these back down. And it almost looks like the clips are here. There is another one. And maybe in the next set, we'll see that other jet. Because they do have the clips molded on there. So could have compatibility with the other one. So that's definitely my favorite vehicle included here. But a lot of the Ultraman figures in this set are really good. Trigger's great. Glitter Trigger Eternity is pretty cool. Saga's pretty cool. The Zero with the mantle. Even this evil version guy over here. I think maybe it's just Dark Trigger. Now that I think about it. I might be overthinking it. It might just be Dark Trigger. Oh, that's right. Okay, now it's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. So I think Dark Trigger was a bad guy for an episode or two. And then we found out who was Dark Trigger. And I kind of remember that guy transforming into him and helping once or twice. It's been a minute since I've seen the show, but it's starting to come back to me now. It's starting to come back to me. So again, really great assortment there. And then we just have a couple of Zenkaiser offerings. We have Zenkaiser, and then we have Zenkai Red. So this guy is mostly translucent, does have a little bit of paint for the eyes and this kind of stripe that goes across the chest. And for whatever reason, his belt buckle is also not translucent, but everything else is translucent. He came out great though. Looks really cool. Fun little translucent Zenkai Red. And then we have Zenkaiser himself. Again, looking really nice. For whatever reason, the head on mine is very tight. Like I attached the ball joint and it doesn't really want to move. Okay, it's a little better now. It was ridiculously tight earlier. But I like the Tampo, you know, rainbow detailing. I think the cape looks great. I love the weapon. Really, really nice. So he came out great. And then we got Zenkai Juo, which is really fun. I like this a lot. You can move the tail around on a ball joint. I don't know. I assume it's not supposed to be like that. But if you like the look of it like that, you certainly can. But it's kind of meant, I think, to drag on the ground there. You have a ball joint at the hip and then at the knee and at the ankle. You've got the little arms here with the missile pods. You can move them around. The arms can move. You got the guns here on the shoulders that you can kind of move out to the side. The jaw does open and close. So he came out great. I think he's a lot of fun. I love when they do the mecha in this line. So that's really, really cool. This is a great assortment. I got to be honest. I'm having a ton of fun with these. I can't recommend them enough. Like I said, Defender has very quickly become, and I should say it very quickly became and has kind of been the reigning champion as far as my favorite size class for Blokees. They're just such fun little figures. You can snap them together really quickly. And because they're so small, the assortments are usually larger, which means you're getting more characters. So they're filling out the ranks a lot quickly compared to the other size classes. So I just love them. They do them for Transformers. They do them for Toku stuff. They're starting a new one called Astral Rally, which I'm really excited about. It's their own IP. And it's just fun robot designs, a little Gundam-esque in my opinion, in terms, really more like the support Gundam guys, like Jim and the gun cannon and the gun tank. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Kind of like this little guy. It's almost kind of like a wave of guys kind of like this, but even better. So I'm excited for those. And like I said, Defender is just such a fun class. So I can't recommend them enough. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you going to be picking these up? Who's your favorite from the assortment? Do you tend to go more for the Rider, for the Ultraman, for the Sentai? Let me know in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.